औज़ुबिल्लाहिमिनश्शैतानिर्रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली अल्लाहुम्मा रब्बि ज़िदनी इल्मा। छुट्टियों से पहले हम लोग जो है वो नर्वस सिस्टम के बारे में पढ़ रहे थे और आपको याद होगा कि मैंने आपको न्यूरॉन के बारे में बताया और हम न्यूरॉन की क्लासिफिकेशन पर थे और उस वक़्त मैं आपको बता रहा था कि न्यूरॉन्स आर ऑफ डिफरेंट टाइप्स. देयर इज़ अ क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ द न्यूरॉन्स and this classification of the neurons depends on many things. Number one, the classification of the neurons according to the shape of the neuron, that is the morphological classification. And I was talking about the multipolar, the bipolar and the unipolar neurons. As the name indicates, the multipolar neurons, which is the most common type of the neuron, these are the neurons which are having many. Can you see this? This is a multipolar neuron, and these multipolar neurons, the examples are the pyramidal cells of the cerebrum and the Purkinje cells of the cerebellum, and also the inferior horn cells of the spinal cord. You can see that there is a nerve cell body and there are multiple cytoplasmic extensions from multiple poles of the body. On one side there is an axon and there are multiple dendritic processes in the form of a dendritic tree, and this type of neuron is called the multipolar neuron. And this is a bipolar neuron. It is a spindle shaped cell. You can see it is a fusiform cell and it has got the two ends. On one end there is a dendrite and on the other side there is an axon. And as regards these unipolar neurons, which are the neurons which are present in the dorsal root ganglia and all these ganglia of the sensory nerves of the cranial nerves, sensory ganglia of the cranial nerves, they are also having these unipolar. They are also known as the pseudo-unipolar neurons because you can see that the nerve cell body gives rise to a process which immediately bifurcates. It divides into two. One is going towards the periphery and the other is going towards the center. And one is acting as an axon and the other is acting as the dendrite. These pseudo-unipolar neurons or the unipolar neurons, they are present in the dorsal root ganglia and they are present in all the ganglia which are related with the sensory part of the cranial nerves. As regards the bipolar neurons are very commonly seen in the olfactory neuroepithelium. They are present in the taste buds, and these are the neurons which are present in the vestibular and cochlear apparatus of the inner ear. So this is the morphological classification of the neurons, and the other classification depends on the function, that is the functional classification. So as regards the functional classification, you can see in the functional classification there are two types of neurons, rather three types of neurons. The motor neurons, which are the neurons which conduct the impulses to the muscles, and the sensory neurons which receive the sensation, and there are interneurons which are the small neurons which are local circuit neurons. So this is the functional category of the neuron. Then another classification depends on the length of the neuron. So we have got the Golgi type 1 and Golgi type 2 neurons. Golgi type 2 neurons are short neurons. They are confined in the thickness of the cortex of the cerebrum and cerebellum, and these are very short neurons. As regards the Golgi type 1 neurons are very long neurons, can attain a length of 100 centimeters. These are the neurons which are these are multipolar neurons For example, a neuron which starts from the precentral gyrus and then it descends through the corticospinal tract into the spinal cord. Similarly, the neurons which are coming out from the spinal ganglia, which are coming out from the spinal cord, and these are coming out from the spinal cord and then they run in the nerves and can reach the toe of the Then we have got another classification which depends on whether the neuron has got a myelin sheath or there is no myelin sheath, so myelinated and non-myelinated. Now let's talk about the neuroglia, neuron binding cells, neuron glue. These are the cells which are specialized connective tissue cells. They have nothing to do with the excitability and conductivity. These are very specialized cells. If there are millions of neurons, there are trillions of neuroglia, and neuroglial cells, they are just to give the nourishment to the neurons. And neuroglial cells are of two types. There are neuroglia proper and ependymal cells. The neuroglia proper, they are further divisible into three categories. There are astroglia, oligodendroglia, and the microglia. And the third one, microglia, are actually the cells which are phagocytic cells, and these cells, they are the scavenger cells. They engulf the foreign materials. They belong to MPS, the mononuclear phagocyte system. The ependymal cells, neuroglia proper and the ependymal cell, these are the two classifications. There are two categories. Astrocytes are the most common cells. They are star-shaped cells. They are the supportive cells. There are two types, protoplasmic and fibrous. Protoplasmic are present in the grey matter, fibrous are present in the white matter. This is the Schwann cell and sheath peripheral nerve fiber, both myelinated and myelinated. In the case of the unmyelinated, the Schwann cell have got the troughs, and in these cell membrane there are multiple axons running through these trough-like processes. This is a non-myelinated. In the case of the non-myelinated axon, you can see that these trough-like evaginations, they enclose the axons, and many axons runs through these trough-like processes. As the name indicates, the astrocytes are the cells which are star-shaped cells. These are largest cells. These have got the spherical overnuclei with small amount of heterochromatin, intermediate filaments composed of glycine, provide structural and metabolic support to the neurons and act as scavengers of ions and neurotransmitters released into the extracellular space. There are two types of astrocytes. There are fibrous and the protoplasmic astrocytes. You can see the fibrous astrocytes. Fibrous astrocytes are present in they are the cells which are star-shaped cells. They have got a lot of cytoplasmic extensions which are fiber-like. They are very long and they are thin cytoplasmic extensions. At the end of these cytoplasmic extensions, there are the perivascular end feet. These are the extensions which have got these pedicles. These expanded pedicles are known as the perivascular end feet, and they are attached with the blood vessels, with the capillaries which are passing nearby to receive the nourishment from the blood which is present in these capillaries, and they then provide this nourishment to the cells, the neurons, Then you can see this is the protoplasmic astrocytes. As its name indicates, this is the astrocyte which has got the broader and shorter. The cytoplasmic extensions are broader and shorter. They have got a nucleus which is present in the center of the cell with a prominent nucleolus, and these cells, protoplasmic astrocytes, are present in the grey matter. In the fibrous astrocytes, these are present in the white matter. So you can see this is the diagram which will indicate the presence of the astrocytes in the grey matter and the white matter. Then we have got the oligodendroglaya or the oligodendrocytes. As its name indicates, olig means few, oliguria, पेशाब कम आता है. Oligodendrocytes ऐसे सेल्स जिनमें बहुत कम और छोटे प्रोसेसेस हों. So these are the cells which are smaller than the astrocytes. They are darker in color. They have got a round nucleus. There is a lot of rough endoplasmic reticulum. There is a very well developed Golgi body. There are three types of oligodendrocytes: the interfascicular oligodendrocytes, forming myelin of the axons in the CNS. Interfascicular, as the name indicates, these are present in between the fasciculi, so present in the white matter of the central nervous system has got the oligodendrocytes which are interfascicular. Then we have got the perivascular and perineuronal. There are three types. Perineuronal, as the name indicates, these are around the nerve cell body, so they are present in the grey matter. Function is that satellite oligodendrocytes are near cell bodies or large neurons. Their function is unclear. These are the oligodendrocytes. This is oligodendrocyte, a cell which is small in size. It has got a rounded nucleus and a few dendritic processes around the nerve cell body. So it is oligodendrocytes. The third cell, which is also belonging to the MPS, that is the mononuclear phagocyte system. These are the microglia. Microglia are the cells which have got, they are rod-like, they are small cells which are having the nucleus in the center, and there are cytoplasmic extensions, spinous processes, just like so. Microglia are the cells which are actually the scavenger cells. Microglia are the cells which are microglia are just like the phagocytes. As the phagocytes, this is the cell which belongs to MPS, mononuclear phagocyte system, and the microglia are present in the grey matter as well as in the white matter. They engulf the foreign bodies. These are the cells which are just like the phagocytes. As we have got the phagocytes in the connective tissue, we have got the microglia in the nervous system. So this was about the neuroglia proper. Then we have got the ependymal cells. Ependymal cells line the ventricles of CNS and the central canal of the spinal cord. Ependymal cells, actually these are nothing but this is the simple columnar epithelium. As you know, all the cavities and canals in the body, they have got in the lining the closely adherent, very closely packed cells. And in the case of the central nervous system, as you know, the central nervous system has got the ventricles which are dilated portions containing the CSF, cerebrospinal fluid, and in the lining of the ventricles and in the lining of the central canal of the spinal cord, we have got cuboidal or low columnar shaped cells, and these are very tightly bound cells. Some of the cells are ciliated. They facilitate the movement of the cerebrospinal fluid, participate in the formation of the choroid plexus. So ependymal cells are actually the cells which are lining the cavities and canals of the nervous system. So this is the spinal canal, and you can see the spinal canal. This is the basement membrane, and above the basement membrane lying the So this is the diagram showing you the spinal canal. स्पाइनल कॉर्ड के बीचों बीच जो कैनाल रन कर रही है उसको स्पाइनल कैनाल या सेंट्रल कैनाल कहते हैं, और सेंट्रल कैनाल की लाइनिंग में वी हैव गॉट द सिंपल कलमनर एपिथेलियम, and these columnar cells which have got these nuclei which are oval in outline. These nuclei are present near the base of the cell, and these cells are very closely adherent, joined by the desmosome lumen of the spinal canal. You will find the cilia, and some of the cells also have got the microvilli. So this is the epithelium which lines the cavities and canals of the central nervous system, and this is known as the ependymal cells. Schwann cells. In the periphery, the cells which are the connective tissue cells, they are known as the Schwann cells. Schwann cells form both myelinated and unmyelinated, covering over axons of the PNS, that is peripheral nervous system. The Schwann cell is a very specialized type of cell. It is a, can you see, this is the Schwann cell, and this Schwann cell, it is a trough-like cell, and it encloses the axon in between its two ends, and the meeting point of the ends, this is known as the mesoaxon. What happens in the myelination? In the myelination process, the cell membrane of the Schwann cell, it starts winding around the axon, and after 50 to 60 turns, it will then deposit its cell membrane over the axon in the form of the myelin sheath. So myelin sheath is a lipoprotein sheath which covers the myelinated type of axons, and this myelination occurs in the form of the segments, the nodes. This is the myelination process. You can see this is an axon which is surrounded by, initially in the cleft of the Schwann cell is present an axon, and in the myelination process it happens so that the nucleus comes on the outer side, and the Schwann cell starts winding around the axon, and then it deposits its cell membrane in the form of these concentric layers or the concentric lamellae, and that's the reason that the myelin sheath is nothing, it is actually the cell membrane of the Schwann cell. So it is for lipoprotein in nature. So always the nucleus will be on the outer side in each and every segment which is covered by the myelin sheath, and can you see this is a longitudinal section of a neuron, and you can see that the axon is covered by these myelinated segments. I was talking about this segment of the axon is covered by the myelin sheath, and there are interruptions. You can see the interruptions in between, and these interruptions are known as the nodes of Ranvier. So the longer is the axon, the longer will be the internode. The area between the two nodes is called the internode. The area between the two nodes of Ranvier is called the internode. So the longer is the axon, the longer will be the internode. And this is the point from where the axon comes out, and the point of egress of the axon is called the axon hillock, and the area between the axon hillock and this bare area which is not covered by the myelin sheath is called the initial segment, and this is the trigger zone from where the action potential starts. So this is the axon hillock and this is the initial segment, and this first segment, which is myelinated, it is covered by a single Schwann cell. A single Schwann cell, it winds around. You can see in this diagram, on this side of the diagram, you can see that the Schwann cell nucleus comes out and the cell membrane is deposited in the form of these concentric layers. It starts winding around this portion of the axon, that is the internode, and it then covers this portion of the axon by the myelin sheath. This bare area which is in between, it is just like as you can see in the form. जब आपने बिजली की तार देखी है, बिजली की तार जो है उसके ऊपर इंसुलेशन चढ़ी हुई होती है, रबर इंसुलेशन, और अगर हम उसे प्लास के साथ जगह जगह से निबल कर दें, उसको हम काट दें और उसमें से हमें जो है वो कॉपर वायर नजर आने लग जाए, और वो जो नंगी कॉपर वायर है, वो जो एरियाज हैं उनको हम नोड्स कहते हैं, नोड्स ऑफ ग्रैंडियर, एंड the area between the two nodes is called the internode. So this is the internode. This is the diagram which is showing these are the capillaries and these are the protoplasmic astrocytes which are present in the grey matter, and we have got the perivascular end feet. You can see that these expanded pedicles which are attached with the nearby and capillary wall, these are known as the perivascular end feet. And this is a neuron, and these are the oligodendrocytes. You can see the oligodendrocytes in the central nervous system. The Schwann cell is not present, and the myelination is being the myelination of the axons in the central nervous system is carried out by the oligodendrocytes. The oligodendrocytes processes, they surround the areas of the axons, and they are producing the myelination. You can see the oligodendrocytes, which are these are the cells which are producing the myelin sheath. This is the microglia. Microglia is a cell which is rod-like cell with elongated nucleus which is present in the center of the cell, and there are cytoplasmic extensions, spine-like processes. तो बिल्कुल जाड़ी की तरह ये सेल होता है, और इस सेल की प्रोसेसेस जो है वो फैली हुई होती है. And this is the cell which is phagocytic in nature, and it engulfs the foreign materials, and this is the cell which is one of the defense cells